So, like 4 weeks ago, I made this video called Judges in an attempt to explain stuff like this, but you might as well hear it from the prophet's mouth.
So that we can see again to see me in a 6-foot trench. Right before they would enter a see me. And you can see, look at how tight of an area I'm in. They would have to fly right over to see what was going on. For better perspective, here's the building right here, boxed in. Green is the county and yellow is the city, still within city limits. Now let's zoom in even further. And of course, still in the city limits. This is the exact trajectory the sheriff's plane would have had to fly to be able to see me in a 6-foot trench, right before they would enter a circling pattern overhead. Now let's zoom in even further so that we can see again in the city limits what trajectory the sheriff's plane would have had to been on to see me overhead, and here was their circling pattern. Zooming in even further, and now even further than that, you can see where the sheriff's plane would have had to fly to be able to see me, yes, in this trench that was only 3 feet wide. 3 feet wide, the sheriff would have had to fly over to be able to see me. Now let's zoom back out for perspective. And keep in mind, I haven't worked on this roof in nearly 2 years, and in the 1 hour that I'm up there doing repairs, the sheriff's surveillance plane flies directly overhead. This is city jurisdiction. That's TPD airspace. But today, the county's bird threading the perfect line. All on the same day I dropped a video on Sheba's sanctuary raid.
Now, I was a little bit off, but it was an attempt to explain stuff like this, but I was right for the most part. In Arizona's case, here's a couple of them. So I think all the arrests over this animal bullshit and Mr. Gold and all this shit is an attempt at controlling the jurisdiction of the unincorporated areas. Like, for example, this place. Oh, look, the sneaky bastard guy. Sneaky bastard. See, it says the sheriff provides service to the unincorporated parts or towns within the county. So I think what they're doing is creating jurisdictional a fight over it, because that lady said, the cat lady said her shit's in from Maricopa. Here, just read this. And the potential future, in order to avoid annexation bias, it is important to count the historic population using consistent municipal boundaries across the entire time series, controlling for jurisdictional annexations. Blah, 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 blah. Which is why there would be 230 charges for one guy. They're only going to see the charges and think that it's some kind of, they have some jurisdictional, right to the unincorporated area. Whenever they contest it, whenever there's, this people contest the annexation. And I thought it was for voters, but it's for something else. See, I don't think they're waiting for the historical population trend. I think they're trying to move it along with a bunch of convictions of people who live in those unincorporated areas to somehow gerrymander the the voting district into that unincorporated area. And that's where I was wrong. See, what they're going to do is annex it regardless of what the people say. And then whenever it's contested, they're going to go to the jurisdictional boundaries. And there's going to be all kinds of court cases that say it's in Pima County's jurisdiction or whatever. So, whatever. Right? By getting people arrested, of course, by the unbiased sheriff, and then putting them in a court and then finding them guilty. And then that's how they're going to draw the line around it instead of waiting for the population boom. That's what I think. See, remember where it said this in that little the explanation robot?
A common issue where boundaries are manipulated for political gain. Courts can intervene if the redistricting process is challenged.
And when it is challenged, there's going to be a whole bunch of cases saying that that's the jurisdictional boundary that's, municipally gained through all these false bullshit charges or whatever. Because they're only going to see the charges. They're not going to see any of the story behind it. So, now, the reason they're doing this has to do with water and other things that are blue. But first, let's switch gears for a minute. Now, if you haven't been to Reluctant Prophet's page, you need to go there and get all the backstory about gold and everything. Just watch all his shit, you know what I'm saying? If you want the backstory. But just in the meantime, here's another guy named Prof that we should listen to his words too.
Ready? If I get this right, you gotta tip me on YouTube. It's the hardest rap song ever done, live. Boom! Ooh! Pick a fight, earn a stripe, run a light, out of spite, up all night, wrong or right, take a bite. Eat the rich, hit a lick, drink a fit, fuck a snitch, spit a wig, smoke a split, blow a kiss. I'm doing subpar, how are you? How are you? I'm doing subpar, how are you? How are you? I'm doing subpar, how are you? How are you? Hey, hey, If suffering builds character, then get a load of me. I've been through shit, I'm filled with piss, I'm bloated totally. I can't condone the golden road of who I'm told to be. I told the peeps, roll the sleeves, let's go promote the beast. Today I hit a fucking lick just for the beak, homie. I feel better, got this stick, I got this thing on me. Tell the FBI I follow Jeff Bezos, pesos, quesos, marshmallows, rainbows, game shows. Thinking about life, woke it up, $1.95 if you're living outside. Thinking I die for a little pie slice. Minimize time, gotta fit in my size, gotta tip on my ride, gotta dinner by 5, gotta think of my pride, incentivize crime. I'm ahead of my time, tip a hottest mind. This shit no accident by design. A damn breaks, and sometimes it can't wait, they broke the camera's back. Gonna take us all down street.
Okay, he said some really important stuff that can't be overlooked. We must go back. But for the most part, you see the beaver in the background, or badger, or whatever it is. They build dams, you know what I mean? Anyways.
Hottest mind, this shit no accident by design. A damn breaks, and sometimes it can't wait, they broke the camera's back. Gonna take us all down street. Pick a fight, earn a strike, run a light, out of spite, up all night, wrong or right, take a bite. Eat the rich, hit a lick, drink a fit, fuck a snitch, split a wig, smoke a split, blow a kiss.
Then you have to stop or you'll go to hell. I think you go straight to hell.
Well, it's for the security footage from this court, and that's what they told me.
Are you filming? Are you filming? Hey, Alan!
Look at this. Hey, black ass. Ha 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 ha.
Hey, Alan!
Anybody know who that is? Put in the comments.
Alan, of course he is. What are you doing, Alan? What the hell, man? What are you doing? We can record every time we want. Hey, 122.1.
There she is. What's up, Heina?
I'm barely waiting for my Heina.
What's up, Heina?
Point,
should, man. Point, baby. Do what I could, man. Point, baby. Do what I should, man. Point, baby. Do what I could, man. Point, baby. Do what I should, man. Point, baby. Do what I could.
Okay, now back to the water and the other prof. Well, just an explanation of some things first. This was on the news. My mom was watching, right? And it's about the Kerrville floods, which I used to go there when I was a kid in camp. So, but what the other prof said, it's no accident by design. Keep that in mind.
It's in Kerrville so that people who live in Kerr County don't have to make a trip to Austin. Patrick adds they'll be in town as long as it takes to hear their stories and their needs. Like James talked about, the president came to serve as the consoler-in-chief. And as our Amber Hughes explains, his visit brought a sense of hope to Kerr County.
There's a lot left to be done in the recovery efforts in Kerr County after those devastating 4th of July floods. But for some in the area, the presidential visit is a sign of hope.
Texas strong. Come and see us out here at Center Point.
It's been 1 week since floodwaters consumed parts of Kerr County.
We were here earlier this week. We're helping out with a little bit of the cleanup. We helped out with the search and rescue as well. We see the devastation that took place.
The Hill Country is a special place for San Antonian Gabe Bondi. In the spirit of Texans helping Texans, he organized friends and family to come to Kerr County to feed the community and first responders.
Took in donations from people all across the state.
First of all, I just want to say people grilling on the side of the road like that, that's every day in Texas. But just notice how everything is about recovery and donations and helping and finding the lost.
They were eager to help.
There's an outpour of support from across the region. Perla Hopkins came to help from Leander, just north of Austin, where there was also flooding victims.
We've been asking for the state to also help my neighbors out in Leander. We've had at least 15 deaths.
With help needed across central Texas, for her, President Trump's visit to Hill Country brought comfort.
He's going to be looking at the most devastated places, and we're just happy that our administration stands with Texas and with the rest of our country.
Awesome, lady.
Across the street from the Kerrville airport, many waited with anticipation to catch a glimpse of the commander-in-chief.
Awesome. It's great. Just can't wait to see you.
Here's part of the truth.
Howdy, howdy. It is day number 9, and we have a fluke surprise storm come up. I'm going to play some video in the background of the weather because we've been tracking this the entire time, the storm coming into this area the entire time, because it's been very strange. And I've been also studying about the flares that they're using for cloud seeding and weather enhancement. And this storm has just got crazy. They have completely shut down all operations here at the fire department, and they're only allowing 2 swiftwater teams on standby. And unfortunately, I can't be a part of that team, and I can't be part of the boat because I wasn't able to complete my swiftwater training prior to coming out here because I've injured my Achilles and all of my tendons are literally pulled right now, so I just can't do it. We've got multiple flood warnings, danger warnings. Guadalupe is right there. Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. It is Tuesday. We just arrived, got to our shelter at this university that's taking us in right here. We're about to meet up with...
So a month before all this, sometime in June, they had a workshop, and it was about the 2026 water fund asset replacement and other small funds. And according to law, they adjourned into the executive session to discuss the matters to meet the qualifications of 551 of the government code. And they were discussed in executive session and adjourned, right? There was actually a celebration planned for that day, and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, possible attendance at the Kerrville's 4th on the River celebration throughout the evening at Hayes Park, possible attendance. So the Main Street Advisory Board's possible attendance at the Water Street Festival meeting, June 11th, blah, 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 blah. Now listen to this. They're specifically saying no vote or decision will be made. Please note that a decorum may or may not be present. However, members will not engage in deliberations pertaining to the public business except as may be incidental to comments or questions about the Water Street Festival. No vote or decision will be made. Same thing, getting closer, but they say the recreations, they're having a luncheon now, right? And even though they're at the Shriner Park where all this is happening or happened, right? Nobody is going to vote or do anything. Part of the movie Jaws was filmed there, right? So it says the unique setting and one of a kind way to enjoy summer classics, snacks, comfortable viewing experience. Attendees are welcome to enjoy the river event, but to do so on their own risk. Please, lifeguards will not be on duty, and the children must be supervised at all times, both in and out of the water for safety. The U.S. Coast Guard approved life jackets is strongly encouraged, especially for the children and non-swimmers. Jaws is a PG rated, blah, 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 blah. Advised for children under 13 in the event of inclement weather. So they knew there was going to be some kind of inclement weather. And this was for immediate press release. They wanted this to get out there. You can keep reading or whatever, but they also have a flood thing. And there's even pictures of what this would look like, right? But you know what the GBRA's main goal is? That's right, to sell pieces of this by the river, whatever, at the highest bid, right? And guess what was like right smack? Oh, and it's owned by the women's small business. Women-owned businesses are encouraged to submit proposals. And anyways, check this out. They even have a number for a conflict of interest. But their goal is to ensure transparency, efficiency, and ease of access for all stakeholders involved. Like the all girls camp mystic or whatever. Anyways, here's all the people that are involved in looking the other way. But what oh, we didn't know it was coming. You see, this is important because actually it was up to the judge to implement the strategy or whatever. Check it out. By law, the county judge is the official emergency management coordinator for his or her county. However, in many cases, the responsibility is delegated to another individual, blah, 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 blah. All right. Okay. Think about that. It's all by design. Now, this is what they've been getting away with using these. Just so you can see here, it's perfectly laid out on how to contain this, right? So what they've been doing is using these. You see, they don't want to actually do anything about the problem because there is millions upon billions to be made off death, destruction, and recovery, and rebuilding, and whatever grants, and it's just all built. They don't want to actually fix any of the problems. Just like you saw, they will not talk about it. They will not vote. They will not make a decision. When what if I told you 20 years ago they had the solution? This genius invention. What if I told you that all they had to do was dig a trench and throw a blanket over it and water it like it was a garden and everything would be solid. Check this out. This is over 20 years ago they had this technology.
width at the bottom to hold the ends of the fabric.
The firmly pressed soil gives the canal the strength to cope with force. Once we lay the concrete fabric, we will have a beautiful project that is both strong and durable.
We then begin the laying process. We lay the fabric sheet upon the prepared ground. Each following sheet will overlap the preceding one, with an approximate 10 centimeter overlap.
It's concrete cloth. You literally just lay it down and spray water on it. Now, my whole reason for making these videos is just to stop, or is to do something while we can, right? Your local government does not want to fix problems, right? Now, for example, this right here is just gonna blow your mind right out of your butthole, okay? After you see this, I just don't know. Watch.
Concrete canvas shelters are rapidly deployable hardened structures that are deployed in 4 simple steps. Step 1 is delivery. The shelter is delivered folded and sealed in an airtight sack. Step 2 is inflation. The shelter is inflated using an electric fan. Once inflated, it is pegged down around the base and is now ready for Step 3. Step 3 is hydration. Water is sprayed onto the shelter until the surface is saturated. The final step is setting. The concrete cloth cures in the shape of the inflated inner, and 24 hours later, the concrete canvas shelter is operational. The shelters can be covered in earth, sand, or snow, providing an excellent thermal performance and a force protection capability protecting against small arms fire and shell fragments. The hard, fireproof shell provides a level of security not possible with soft-skin structures, protecting stores, equipment, and personnel. Concrete cloth is a ceramic and will not burn. And the sealed plastic inner enables a sterile environment, vastly increasing frontline medical capability. Concrete canvas shelters. In less than a day, 54 square meters of hardened, sterilizable space that has the potential to last for over 10 years.
Mind blown, right? I mean, literally, whenever they call the flood warning, you could start one of those and it'll be done by the time there's a flood. Like, give me a break. And you guys almost forgot why this whole video started, right? Okay, like I said, it had to do with water and it has to do with something that's blue. Well, check it out.
The city of Tucson unveiling a draft plan for a major economic development project in southern Arizona. It could mean thousands of new jobs in our region, but it needs the approval of city leaders to get off the ground.
News for Tucson's Eric Fink is reviewing that plan. He joins us now live in our newsroom with what you need to know. Eric.
Sean, Monica, it's called Project Blue. It's under consideration right now. Project Blue.
Dude, they don't even try to hide it. He almost said construction. What a jackass.
Is a proposed data center that would be built near Houghton and I-10 near the Pima County Fairgrounds. The city of Tucson says it could mean upwards of $3.6 billion in economic development. Now, Project Blue still has to be approved by Mayor Regina Romero and City Council. The Pima County Board of Supervisors approved going ahead with the plan in a 3-2 vote last month. Tucson City Manager Tom Tamure says if Project Blue were to become a reality, it could mean 3,000 construction jobs between 2025 and 2028. We're told the initial phase of the data center could be done and ready to be opened by 2027. It also could mean 180 full-time jobs by 2029. That includes engineers and technicians. Tamure says Project Blue will use reclaimed water, and he says that per year that would be comparable to what 2 Pima County 18-hole golf courses use each year. The public will have multiple opportunities to weigh in here on Project Blue, and that starts as soon as next week. Now, Mayor Romero and City Council have to say yes, and some on the council have some questions regarding water and power usage and others. The first study session for the mayor and council will be August 6th. The first public meeting on this Mountain High School is to get some of those questions and concerns answered. Project Blue is not yet a reality, and it could be months before the council makes a final decision. It's a proposed data center consisting of multiple facilities, with the main site set to go up near Highton and I-10 near the Pima County Fairgrounds. Last week, the city of Tucson released a draft plan saying Project Blue has the potential for more than $3 billion in economic development, up to 3,000 construction jobs, and a projected 180 full-time jobs once it's up and running. But homeowners' concerns focus on the very large amounts of water and power needed for Project Blue. All told, the first and secondary projects are projected to use 1.3 gigawatts of power. Now, that's enough electricity to power hundreds of thousands of homes in this area. The developer has pledged $100 million to build an 18-mile pipeline of reclaimed water. But according to city leaders, the yearly water usage for this project is comparable to the amount used by 2 18-hole golf courses in Pima County each year. Now, it is up to city council here because the city has to annex the land into city limits. Again, it will likely take months before a final decision from Mayor Romero and the council is made. Again, people will have an opportunity to ask these developers, some officials associated with the project, some questions coming up. The meeting is from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. here at Micah Mountain. It is open to the public, and we will have an update for you coming up at 6 o'clock. We're live on the southeast side. I'm Eric Fink, News 4 Tucson.
So where would this all be, centered around, right? Did y'all say that?
Project Blue would be in the Vale School District. Once again, nothing is set in stone right now. Project Blue would be in the Vale School District. Once again, nothing is set in stone right now. Project Blue would be in the Vale School District. Once again, nothing is set in stone right now. Project Blue would be in the Vale School District. Once again, nothing is set in stone right now. Mayor Romero and City Council have to say yes. And some on the council have some questions regarding water and power usage and others. The first study session for the mayor and council will be August 6th, the first public meeting on this. The council will be August 6th, the first public meeting on this.
We'll be paying the bill.
Here at Tucson City Hall, they've got to make some important decisions on whether that giant Project Blue data center goes forward. And a key part of all that is a pipeline the project said it would build to provide cooling water to the facility and then some. Project Blue will need a lot of power to run its computers and electronics and a lot of water to cool them. So much that critics worry it's a project that just does not belong in our hot, dry desert. The city says the region can cover the project's power and water needs, but critics are still unconvinced. They are also leery of the secrecy behind Project Blue. The city of Tucson is still bound by a non-disclosure agreement that forbids revealing who will actually operate the data center. One thing not under wraps was a promise from Beal Infrastructure, the company building the project. That was to build a pipeline 18 miles long to bring reclaimed water to cool the center and to oversize it so the city could have extra capacity for other projects. The understanding was Beal Infrastructure would cover the entire pipeline cost. But when the city of Tucson put the draft development agreement online, we saw this on page 9. It says in part, in the event the city requests the developer to oversize the reclaim system extension beyond the capacity required for the developer's projects, the city agrees to reimburse developer for the portions of the reclaim system that are oversized. So is Project Blue paying to build the city an oversized water line or not? City Manager Tim Tomier says yes, and the language was in the contract in case the city wanted to go even bigger than the oversized line Project Blue was willing to pay for.
We often will oversize capacity in infrastructure being built by somebody. And that is a way to get excess capacity at a moderate cost to the city in order to meet an unmet need. In this case, I need to be exceptionally clear. Project Blue will pay for the full cost of the pipeline to meet their needs, plus excess capacity of 2 million gallons per day.
Tomier says there's no need for the city to go beyond the oversizing Project Blue has agreed to cover. The attorney for Beal Infrastructure says in part, Project Blue's design includes oversizing of the reclaimed water infrastructure, for which it will not seek City of Tucson contributions. While the draft development agreement included a clause enabling potential city-funded oversizing beyond the agreed amount, that option is no longer under consideration and drafts will be updated accordingly.